I'll answer the question. You want answers?
I think I'm entitled.
You want answers?
I want the truth!
You can't handle the truth! Son, we live in a world that has walls, and those walls have to be guarded by men with guns. Who's gonna do it? You? You, Lieutenant Weinberg? I have a greater responsibility than you can possibly fathom. You weep for Santiago and you curse the Marines. You have that luxury. You have the luxury of not knowing what I know, that Santiago's death, while tragic, probably saved lives, and my existence, while grotesque and incomprehensible to you, saves lives. You don't want the truth because deep down in places you don't talk about at parties, you want me on that wall. You need me on that wall. We use words like honor, code, loyalty. We use these words as the backbone of a life spent defending something. You use them as a punchline. I have neither the time nor the inclination to explain myself to a man who rises and sleeps under the blanket of the very freedom that I provide and then questions the manner in which I provide it. I would rather you just said thank you and went on your way. Otherwise, I suggest you pick up a weapon and stand a post. Either way, I don't give a damn what you think you are entitled to.
Yes, we are. Got my hat on because we need to do some enforcing of the law. Yes, we do. That some of y'all, oh my God, the opening to that before the music hit, that is like if people, for my real thinkers, just for my real people that get it, my people, like the ones that get it, like. You knew exactly why I chose that, and I'm going to leave it at that. Yes, I am. But let's go back to the song real quick. I like that song. Listen real quick. I'm going to get to the video. I'm going to get to the video, I promise. Hold on, ready?
Bad Boys 2, the soundtrack. Let's go. Yeah.
What your name is? Where you from? Turn around. Who you came here, come right here. Is the chance for your mama have reindeer? What? Can't explain it, but listen, real quick. Just a little comedy. For the young cats. Don't ever use the pickup line. Come here, girl. Who you came with? Is that your ass or did your mama have reindeer? Ho, 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 ho. Woo. That's my favorite line. I'm sorry. I had to big that up real quick. But we got some breaking news. Oh, yes, we do. Got a couple audio clips for you. And I gotta talk about Ellen Page, a.k.a. Elliot Page. Now, we're going to get into that real quick. But let's get into the audio first. Now, this is going to be unique because normally I just come out and I just go. But this time I have to do like takes and I have to stop because I have to prepare things. And so you're not waiting and it's not taking time. So right now, just give me a second. Boom, I read back. And we're back. Okay, so the first order of business, Dominion. So for everybody that doesn't know, the Dominion voting system is the software and the system that is invested in heavily by George Soros, but it is the system and the software that compiles the mail-in voting that we're having. Now, I'll let you do your own research because this is what I always tell people to do. But there's a strong link to it, to Venezuela and the president in Venezuela, the dictator in Venezuela. I don't know if anybody follows world news. A lot of you just follow whatever it is that you see and that you're programmed to see. So it's whatever CNN or whatever your local news is telling you to do. But if you follow world news, if you go outside that matrix code, like Venezuela has had a lot going on, and the media will distract you and try to tell you that it's due to something about the dictator controlling the fossil fuels there. Like, it's bullshit. That motherfucker is Satan, and they are trying to get hell away from Satan, and there is an exodus trying to get hell out of Venezuela, and the government's not letting them. So if you meditate, if you pray for them folks out there in Venezuela. And this is a software and system that there's a link to it, to that guy. And I can't think of his name, so I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I do. But everybody knows what we're talking about, Dominion. And I always tell you we're watching a movie. I think if you look back on my Facebook posts when Joe Biden cracked his ankle, everybody's like, oh, he did it in his home in Delaware. No, the hell he didn't. He went to the goddamn foot doctor on Sunday. The shit happened on Saturday, and he was at a park, Great Falls. This how they get y'all ass. He was in Great Falls, Virginia. Oh, it was a great fall. Oh, it was a great fall. In the hood, we call it a bust your ass. Oh, it was a great bust your ass. Yes, it was. Yes, it was. But if you type in Great Falls Park, Virginia, it'll give you 92 something Old Dominion Road. Dominion. So there's that word again. So we're going to open up addressing Dominion. So look, and I came prepared for y'all today. Yes, I did. Boom. Got him. Got him today. Got him. They might not make a goddamn difference, but I got him.
My name is Melissa Carone. I am a resident of Wayne County. I have a background in IT and cybersecurity. I was contracted by PDS Staffing to work with Dominion Voting Systems, assisting with IT at the TCF Center. I started work at 6 a.m. on November 3rd, and I worked until 5 a.m. on November 4th. I returned to work at 10 a.m. November 4th and worked until 2 p.m. November 4th. I was initially supposed to return back to work around 4, but I was told via text through one of the other Dominion workers named Samuel that I wasn't needed, that they were almost finished counting. I wasn't going to mention this, being that it has been mentioned numerous times. I was initially supposed to be working. I was initially supposed to be working at the Department of Elections. That was an order from Dominion Voting Systems. They told me that I would be parking in a parking lot and I would be shuttled in through a shuttle. I called my mother and I told my mother about this, and my mom said, no, absolutely not. You're not doing that. I also had a concern about that because I do have two small young children at home and I needed access to my vehicle. What I witnessed at the TCF Center was complete fraud. The whole 27 hours I was there, there was batches of ballots being ran through the tabulating machines numerous times, being counted 8 to 10 times. I watched this with my own eyes. I was there to assist with IT. These people on night shift, I had 4 people on night shift that I've known one of them I've known for over 20 years. He approached me and said he had absolutely zero training whatsoever, contradicting 100% what Daniel Baxter claims, that they had so much training. He
Bullshit.
said they had zero. I watched.
Not a
These people
goddamn
had
training.
no idea what they were doing.
Oh, she said they didn't have a goddamn lick of training. Now, this is a 3-part thing. They had to break it down because this is from a news source on Twitter. So bear with me here. So
I mean,
here's
they
the
were
second
both
one.
Democrats, saying they were sitting together, judging ballots all night together, all day together. I witnessed
Part
it
two.
all. I was on the main stage with all of the city officials.
On the main stage.
Daniel Baxter was in on the whole thing, and I am under the impression 100% that at least 90% of those workers were all in on this. There was not a single ballot the whole night, the
Not a
whole
goddamn
27
one.
hours I was there, that I saw that was for Donald Trump. Not one, not a single ballot. That is scary. There is no reason for that.
Pause. So what, pretty much, let me sum this up. She's saying, at a whole heap of shit, whole heap of goddamn ballots that came in, a whole bunch of motherfuckers came in, truckload came in of ballots. Not a near one was for Donald J. Trump. They're all for clone-ass Jim Crow motherfucking Biden that y'all... let me stop. Just see. Shut it up. I'm trying to... Holy Ghost Spirit.
Also,
Go on.
I'm going to say that there was something going on at that Department of Elections, and it's clearly something that's very illegal that occurred there, and I am grateful to
She
God.
said illegal. That means it's a goddamn crime. Oh, that means you was doing something wrong. That's what illegal means. Go ahead.
That I did not go there.
Thank you. So, Vice Chair Lucido has a question.
Sure.
You were employed by
Vice Chair Lucido. That sounds like he Puerto Rican. I don't know. He don't look Puerto Rican. Okay, let me get part 3 for you here. Bear with me here, guys. Bear with me. Oh, jeez. Oh, look, I can cut it. Hold on. Okay, we back to part 3. My bad. I have sensitive
Equipment and the
screen.
tabulators themselves?
Correct.
And they were going to send you to the Department of Elections?
Initially, that is
So
where
do
I
they
was
have-
scheduled.
Tabulators at the Department of Elections?
That's the main question here, huh? Because I was trained on the tabulation and adjudication process, and how many people just came up before me stating that they saw people walking in and out of that Department of Elections with ballots.
Okay.
As I stated, I was not supposed to even talk about this today,
And
but
then
I'm going
as they're
to.
scanning, they have a pile of them, they're putting them through a scanner, and the pile, once it's gone through the scanner, is still fully accessible to the person
Absolutely.
who's doing the count.
Absolutely.
Okay, thank you.
They could scan them 50 times if they wanted to.
50 goddamn times. Just run through 100 if you want. See,
You were trained to...
And that's the end of the clip, by the way, everybody. So I'm not cutting it off. But listen. So let's go over a few things here. First of all, the dumb. This is what the fucking. This is why I can't stand. It's all politics. Politics fucks everything up. Right here we go. The judge. So you get the ballots, and when you get the ballots, you run them through a scanner. Bitch, excuse me. I didn't mean to use that language, but this is why I can't be on the goddamn stand. Because this would be me, motherfucker. Like you were in high school back in my day. It was called the CTBS test. Bullshit standardized test. I was good as hell in school, but I can't sit over here and get a goddamn booklet and read this motherfucker for 4 hours and doodle some shit in to figure out what the fuck my aptitude was. That was some bullshit. But that's what scanning is. So she's pretty much saying, so you got it and you put it in and you scanned it. Yes. Why are you even asking that elementary ass question? Get the fuck out of here with that shit. That's what I would have said. But let's go to what the witness said, because a lot of people are going to I know CNN and all that shit going to do it because they're going to discredit it because they're deep state assholes. But what they're going to do is discredit the witness. Now here we go. Let's be humans. Ready to be humans? How many of us have had, to take on a job? And when we took on a job, we had to go through training. So they might have sent you somewhere for a week of training or whatever, right? So that was think of that moment. Recollect, detach, pull back, from the matrix, pull back from what you're seeing outwardly, go inwardly to you. And remember those moments. Understand what I'm saying? When just think back to any job when you had to go into training, and the people that you met, your new employees that may have been your colleagues throughout the year, that fucking moment that happened in you, apart from this bullshit that you're seeing out here. Okay. Now remember that. So when you go through that and you pass certain, this curriculum of training and this curriculum of training to learn your job, you feel achieved in that. You feel accomplished in that. And I went to this training. She probably had to pay for it. She paid for the training. She went to the training. And that is why she's emphasized. Don't discredit the motherfucking witness. She went to this training the same way you went to a training for your job. So that is why she emphasized, no, I was trained on this. I went to the training. They told me you do this, this, and this. And when I got here and I saw what the fuck was going on, it wasn't this. It was some bullshit. So that's what she's saying for Dominion. You don't have to worry about it. This isn't an excuse to try to say, oh, Aaron needs to get over it. Motherfucker, y'all already lost. I promise you. You don't even have 30 more days. But you had your time, my time. You know what John Cena say? Your time is up, my time is now. Right? Can't see me. You can't. So let's continue on. Alrighty. So she quotes what I said just now regarding the Department of Elections. So now we're talking about a component of the governmental system there. So the Department of Elections that is coming out, that will be continuing out next week. I was not even supposed to talk about this, right? And here's her quote. There was fraudulent activity occurring there, okay? So let's get to her. This is a blunder, but I can't edit. So there's a part 4.
I haven't been contacted back since.
Let's go part 4.
Well, you would think that, did you contact anybody from the Trump campaign?
Oh, yeah.
Wouldn't they have a pipeline to the Department of Justice? Well, I mean,
I've been talking to attorneys. What I said just now regarding the Department of Elections and how I was scheduled to work there, that is coming out. That is coming out. That will be coming out next week. There's a lot coming. I was not even supposed to talk about that, but a lot of people mentioned it.
Pause right there. So that'll be coming out for next week. So everybody take note. Look for something to come out next week. Okay, this is how you have to connect the dots. The question that he just asked, write it down. Don't just try to remember it. There's some shit that's going on in the motherfucking world right now. Trust me. Write it down. And then she said it's going to drop next week. Okay? Continue on.
Mentioned it. So you know what? I'm going to tell you guys about it because this is fraud.
okay.
And there was fraudulent activity occurring there.
Thank you. Your testimony was excellent. Thank you.
Thank you.
Your testimony was excellent. It really was. It really was. Testimony was excellent. So let's get to this. So this is the question that CNN's going to build on, right? This is how they're going to try to fuck with your minds. They're going to build on the question that the judge asked the young lady. Wouldn't Donald Trump have a pipeline to the Department of Elections? Now, you would think that. You would think that structure. But when there's a power struggle going on, where this is what you got to understand. It's Bloods and Crips, baby. It's Bloods and Crips. Where there's a power struggle going on for the top office of our nation. And it's a Democratic-controlled district or county or whatever, okay? No, the fuck, Donald Trump does not have a pipeline to them. And if he does, whatever the fuck he gets from that is going to be a crock of manipulated bullshit. Why? Because they want the power. Does that make sense? I hope to God it does. Now, I know we're all on Christmas. We hear those sleigh bells, ding-a-ding-ding-ding-ding-ding, dude. Stop. Have you lived in 2020? Have you participated in 2020? So get the fuck out of your feelings with this is the holidays. Why is he doing that? Fuck the holidays right now, okay? On to other news. CNN. I hate them. We used to call it the Clinton News Network. I changed the name, and so did this is funny, a Democratic congressman who's actually switching over now to the Republican Party. He coined it perfectly, but he calls it the Controlled Negroes Network. I would say the controller nigga network, because that's how I roll, because that's what they do. But he said it more diplomatically because he has to. But CNN, Jamie Gangle details how networks should cover up the contested election claims by Donald Trump. So I have an audio on that. Bear with me so while I open it up so we're not waiting.
CNN says on Jeff
right
Zucker's 9 a.m. editorial conference call how they, the Democratic Party, powerful interest groups, may determine how CNN will cover Trump not conceding the presidential election.
I just want to underscore something that Michael said earlier about the transition and Trump, because I've been talking to a lot of people this morning on both sides, and I just keep hearing the same thing, both from Republicans who have not come out to congratulate Biden, but also to those who have in the Democrats. And that is that we have to be, news organizations have to be very careful and very responsible about not giving Trump too much of a platform on his not conceding, because they feel the transition can go forward. And, other than the national security briefings, which are critical to start now, they just don't want us to exaggerate that Trump isn't leaving office. And I'm going to have a lot of specific reporting on that later today, but just big picture wanted to underscore.
So stop right there again. When you're listening to these videos, this is what you have to take note of, because if not, you're going to fall victim of how they can manipulate you. What she's saying, and then she said she will have specifics on that later today. So this is Jamie Gangle. I hope I'm saying the name right. Gangel. All right, continue on.
For what Michael had said.
Yep, agreed.
On the issue of why it's important to get the transition going right, the 9/11 report talks about one of the problems was that the trouble that was.
All right, pause, because I don't know how the audio is coming in right now. But this is a young lady by the name of Stephanie Becker. And Stephanie Becker, the question that she just asked right here is on the issue of why is it important to get the transition going right. The 9/11 talks about one of the problems was the trouble that was brewing that was lost during the translation. So what they're doing is they're closed captioning what she was saying in the audio, and so naturally, as you know, with closed captioning audio, it's not picking up everything. So that's why I'm reading it crazy, but I'm plugging that word in there for you. But here you go.
Was brewing got lost during the transition. So if you want a good concrete example of what happens when you don't have a good transition, go look at the Twin Towers.
Yeah. So I think that's an important point. I think it was stressed a little bit yesterday in terms of national security. I think it's really important to raise it.
This is Jeff Zucker from CNN talking right now.
Again, I would encourage folks to think about, that 9/11 Commission report and the lack of transition.
And that is the end of the video. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to add this link into the if you're on Facebook, I'm going to add this link into the comments so you can take a look at it. Okay? So that's our news. This was a pretty important news. So yes, it's long, but for everybody that's interested in what's going on in the world, this was for us. Everybody else that's just scrolls through Facebook and it's like, I was 20 minutes. They're the dumbasses. So fuck them, right? We need to learn what's going on, right? That's what we do. I've sat through 5 hours of just shit, and then I've had to videos on YouTube where people stream live because that's the only platform they have, and then I have to take notes, and then I have to take those notes and then go on my laptop during my free time after I parent and do my job and all this stuff, and then I have to fact check all these things to make sure it's worthy of bringing it to you. So that's why it's so long. So that's our news. But we got a little entertainment. I'm going to hit you with the entertainment shit, which I think is bullshit. But this one is big and it's important to me because it's for the LGBTQ community. All summer long, I was called a homophobe, Because I talked about Billy Porter, punk ass. I think he's a punk ass. What do you like? That's, to me, to Billy Porter, has nothing to do with his sexual preference. Because that's what it is. That's what it is. When a man is gay, it is his sexual preference to be with another man. Right? Isn't that what that is? It's a sexual preference. Why? Because if he liked women, then he would be straight when we wouldn't even be having this motherfucking conversation. So I just don't like the fact that his coon black ass knows what Hollywood is doing, goes onto the DNC during a Black Lives Matter moment with, and you can go back in my archive because I threw it right in y'all faces. Black Lives Matter. So this is our fucking struggle. We're talking about police brutality, which is real. Malcolm X has talked about this. Everybody was talking about this. This shit was going on well beyond the 60s. This goes back to slave patrols. Okay? So our motherfucking struggle, and you got Billy Porter bitch ass up there singing the goddamn song, and in the background, in the background they have LGBT all over it. This is, look, listen, I'm all for human rights. Let me repeat this. I am all for human rights. If you have a case for your newly found identity that you feel is a struggle for human rights, go for yours, baby. Go for yours. But do not, and I repeat, do not bring that shit into our struggle that we've been trying to do for 400 fucking years. Because at the end of the goddamn day, one, it is a sexual motherfucking preference. Two, if you want to marry what it is, this new lifestyle that you're going to do, then fine. That is a civil issue. Take it up in civil court and go that way. But I have a message for the women who support this. But we're going to get to Ellen Page in a second. Let me pull up her shit. I'm going to do another cut. All right? Give me a second. Okay, we're back with Ellen Page. And this ain't a conspiracy. This is what the hell happened. So Ellen Page. So everybody who doesn't know who Ellen Page is, Ellen Page, from what I remember, she was in a movie called Juno. I actually like the movie a whole lot. It's called Juno. It's actually a pedophile movie. Like, I believe she was like 16, 17, and, you know, she befriended this guy. I can't think of the actor's name. And then he ended up falling in love with, like, the teenager, with the young girl, and it's just, like, in certain ways, it's a pedophile movie, but whatever. But Ellen Page, I think she's a brilliant actress, so let me just put that out there. But she came out a while ago, I believe on the Ellen show, of course, and said that she was gay. Like that she came out. I don't know why that's coming out, but she came out and said she's gay. Good for her. It's your life. Like, it's your life. Live your life however you want to live your life. I don't have a problem with that at all. I'm tired of people saying I do. But she has now expanded on, her journey of searching for her identity, because that's what it is. She's looking for her identity. Gay, she identified as gay. She liked women, and that just wasn't good enough. So I'm not gonna say it wasn't good enough. I apologize for that. But it wasn't good enough. Shit, wasn't good enough. Wasn't good enough for her. She kept on looking. God damn it. And so now she came out. Okay, and damn, this shit backwards. My name is Elliot. Okay, so now she came out as, she's no longer Ellen Page. She is Elliot Page. She got a dude name. Okay, and her statement was, the actor formerly known as Ellen Page has come out as transgender. Okay, his full passionate statement about him being authentic self is in the bio. Okay, and the statement isn't. The statement isn't an audio, or else I'd play it. But I do have the what do you call it? The letter. It's a very long letter, and it's the text is very small. So even with this, I'm not going to be able to get it. But there's a few things I wanted to point out, and then I want to talk to the ladies. Okay. Hi, friends. I want to share with you that I am trans. This is the part I want to point out. You ready? Because I don't understand this. Maybe somebody help me out. Hi, friends. I want to share with you that I am trans. My pronouns are he/they, and my name is Elliot. So her pronouns, I guess I'm assuming that means like, so a noun is a person, place, thing, right? So we got the pronoun, that's the expansion of it. That's what they taught us, right? So like when you're identifying them or you're discussing Ellen or, well, if it's they now, so it would be Ellen/Elliot. Right? It's very indecisive if you ask me. But you have to say he or they, okay? I feel lucky to be writing this, to be here, to have arrived at this place in my life. That's the journey you wanted to go on. If you feel as though you got to your destination, more power to you. All right. I feel an overwhelming gratitude for the incredible people who have, I'm sorry, like I said, it's small text, who have supported me along this journey. I can't begin to express how remarkable it feels to finally love who I am enough to pursue my authentic self. Perfect timing, by the way. I've been endlessly inspired by so many people in the trans community. Thank you for your courage, your generosity. You're ceaselessly working to make this world a more inclusive and compassionate place. I will offer whatever support I can to continue to strive for a more loving and equal society. I also ask for patience. Her joy is real, but it is also fragile. I can respect that. Let me repeat, I can respect that. The truth is, despite feeling profoundly happy right now and knowing how much, this is what gets on, and knowing how much, I lost some place. Okay, profoundly happy right now, and knowing how much privilege I carry, I am also scared. I'm scared of the invasiveness, the hates, the jokes, and of violence. And it goes on. So, let me just speak to Elliot real quick, and then I'm going to go on to the ladies. Ignorance is something that you cannot, like, you can't change it. You can't dismiss it. You can't remove it. No legislation can be written that is going to remove ignorant ass people. Period. So the same way you're going to get jokes and slurs is the same way they've been calling us nigga for the last 400 years. And it's just something that, as a person walking around on your earthly experience, you have to learn, how to put on an armor and bear that shit and just, mark that shit off. All right. Chalk it up to just them being ignorant. I always say, when it's all said and done and all the separation, there's two different types of people in the world. There's good people, decent people, and there's assholes. So the ignorant comments are from the assholes. Don't worry about that. Don't ever, Elliot, Ellen, they, don't ever worry about the assholes, boo. You do you. God damn it, if you're happy, then go be happy as he, they, whatever the fuck. I don't care what you eat. Don't make me shit. It doesn't. I'm not getting into that. It really doesn't. It really doesn't. If you're goddamn happy, then you be happy. But for the women, this is for you. And I'm going to put my hat on for this for a reason. Because if you are in support of this, not so much Ellen or Elliot. So let's remove that. Allow me to repeat. Let's remove the Ellen and Elliot scenario. We're going back to LGBTQ. Okay? So let's remove that. This is to my ladies. If you are in support of a man identifying as a woman and believing that they are entitled to rights under legislation and law to make them women, or you, then your ass needs to be locked the fuck up. And let me tell you why. Again, ladies, have a moment with me, shall we? Again, take your mind away from the social issue. Take your mind away from Ellen Page and everything else that, you're hearing through words, because words are spells. Remove all that right now and just have a moment with me. Ladies, if you may, close your eyes. Go back to when you were a little girl. Think of the journey from a little girl to a woman in a man's world. Now let's talk the raw shit, what that means. You ready? When a little girl starts to develop, soon as they start to develop, it's a change for them. I don't know the change. I'm a man, but I have a daughter, and many of you who know me know that's my heart. So everything about her experience, just as much as I'm educating myself with this shit, I'm 55,000 times on 100 educating myself to what it is that she is going through in terms of when she changed, when she has her first period, when she starts developing. Okay? Now, ladies, again, go and close your eyes. Think about when, you start to develop, all right? You start to develop, breast. You start to get a body, breasts, you know what I mean? Society has you now, wearing clothes, where the jeans may accentuate your figure. Okay, so you're 30, but you're still a girl. You're just going along with the trends and the fads and the fashion. And you're 13, 14. You don't know any, like you're still looking for Prince Charming. You're just like, you're Cinderella. Some of you Cinderella. For girls that are even younger than that, 5, 6, 7. Just because you're a girl, you might have had mom's boyfriends try to molest you or make certain comments that you just didn't understand why they would say that. And the minute you start to develop, some girls go with cousins and uncles and stuff, like grabbing their ass, things of that nature. Then you have music. All of a sudden now you're what you're listening to in terms of music is expanding, okay? It's evolving in terms of, just like they have PG-13, or like it's evolving that way. So now the music you may have listened to, which could have been like my daughter's like, Meghan Trainor and things like that, now it's getting up to, possibly, the Cardi B's when you're 13, 14 and what they're talking about. Right? So now you have this that you're just bringing in. This is how you should look. And then you have the clothes, and then you have the looks from sometimes family, like just people that shouldn't be mistreating you that way. You feeling me, ladies? This was your journey. This ain't mine. This is what the fuck you went through. And somehow you get into high school, get with a guy, he likes you, tell you he loves you. You have sex, you realize that I love you was bullshit. He just wanted that. He went on, hooked up with somebody else. Now your first love and all that, and broke your heart. Wasn't like Disney told you. Wasn't Dirty Dancing. Patrick Swayze didn't come in and say, nobody sit baby in the corner. It was some real heartache shit that y'all went through. I can't relate, but I bear the burden of, now listen to me. I cannot relate, so I'm not speaking to your journey whatsoever. However, as a man, as a grown-ass man with a daughter, I can tell you that I bear the burden of guilt knowing that I was the villain. I'm sure at one point of that same pain that you may have felt. I'm sure I was a significant accomplice to somebody. Okay? You vibing with me yet? This was your journey. Then you go on to college. Oh, you get to college, or not even college. You're 18, you're in the world. Being asked to do crazy shit that you wouldn't imagine to do, but you thought that's what you're supposed to do. So now your feminine, intimate, passionate sensual, because that's what women are sensual. Women are sensual. The aggressiveness in terms of the sexual behavior that's another build for another day. But women by nature are sensual. They're feminine. Okay? And then you're exposed in your 20s and all that, and then you get out here and then you're dating men, and this is what the men like, and then so now you're abandoning that, and then conforming to that. You're a chameleon. You're conforming to because you got to make him happy, because if you don't make him happy, then he's gonna find somebody else that does. You can't have that heartbreak again that happened before. Then you get past all that. You get it. You figure that shit out. Then you get in the professional world. You realize that you're underpaid, probably overqualified, because you can tell in goddamn elementary school that girls are just smarter than boys. I don't know what to tell you. They just are. And you're in, the workforce, a second-class citizen, begging for the rights to get what the fuck you deserve. A man, per dollar, you're 70 cents to that. And I think that's bullshit. Maybe 65 to their dollar, because they're a man and you're a woman. Then you go through that. Then some women are actually asked to do things for promotion, and they have to, again, they have to compromise themselves again, but they become so regimented to it because of men's bullshit, men's heartache, the way that we've abused them as men, from the little cousins and the mom's boyfriends and everything. This is a little girl. So they have a regiment of compromising them fucking selves. They do certain things for promotions. Oh, then we hear it, we call them a hoe, slut, and everything else. And it's wrong. But let me land this plane right here for the ladies. That is your story. I don't care. That is your story. I wish I can come to you and say, on behalf of all the men, we apologize, but I can't, because some men ain't there. I am, because I got a little girl. Now I'm going to add a disclaimer, because somebody say, oh, well, you like the guy that said, grab a girl by the P word, by the pussy, back in 2004, and and he said it's locker room talk. Okay, this is my rebuttal. Ladies, I don't care what you think. Your husband, your daddy, anybody, your uncles, your granddaddy. At some point, when they was with the fellas, they said an asshole comment, I'm sure similar to that. They done watched some porn, they done read some Playboy magazines, they done jerked off, they done did some fucked up shit in their mind. So do not come at me and say I supported a guy that made a comment when every other single man, period, is guilty of that too. Reminds me of when Mary Magdalene am I hitting home? Let me go and bring this home right now with Jesus. Mary Magdalene. She was about to get stoned by the whole goddamn village. Why? Because she was a hoe. She was an adulteress. She was banging all the married men. Now, at that particular time, okay, in Arab Jew culture, okay, Arab Jewish culture, I apologize, right? Arab Jewish culture at that particular time and setting in history. Okay, so there was like villages. So let's say it was a village, okay? So the village of people, that's their town, okay? And she was a girl who was known as an adulteress, so she was sleeping with married men in town, and they were going to stone her in front of everybody in town because she was wrong. She broke God's law. Oh! Then the Messiah walked in. So, whoa. He who has not sinned, cast the first stone. And they all dropped it. Now, why did they drop their stones? Why didn't they throw it? Because this is where you got to catch it. Because it was Jesus. And Jesus said, oh, we scared of him. He might be the son of God. We heard about him. No. Jesus was always there to reaffirm the morals and the ethics of the law from the Torah. So you're telling me in this village, she was sleeping with a bunch of married men, but the married men were not sleeping with her? And if it were multiple, because she's an adulteress, which means that's just more than one. Somebody gonna say, well, no, that's the feminine version, like Miss and Mr. No, she was being stoned for it because that's what was happening. That's the story I wrote the story. So that means she slept with a bunch of people. She was like the escort. So these married men was hitting it, betraying their wife. But because somebody walked in on them, she gets stoned? Who broke the original foundation of God? Mary or the man? Right? That's the original foundation of God. God, union. That's why you stand before God when you take vows. So it's God in here. So you broke the vow to God. You broke that covenant by sleeping with her. But she was the one being stoned to hide your bullshit so you can keep doing it. Why? Because she was an adulteress and somebody done told everybody, who the fuck, hey, who's going around told her that she was the hoe around here? You messing around, now we got to find another hoe. And that's what Jesus walked in. But what did he say to Mary? So you feeling me? So he checked the dudes because you broke the covenant to God. He grabbed Mary and said, yo, get up. You're a victim of them. The people, the men in the village that's running this, that's controlling the shit. This is the same story that I've told you from a little girl to what happened, and then this, and then even in the professional world, like you're underpaid, so you're still fucked by that system. Right? So Jesus picked her up and said, yo, they the ones that are the assholes, not you. But come on up. But listen, that shit you was doing, you're better than that because you know they're the assholes. So pick yourself up and walk with me. Now, who was he? He was the way, the truth, and the life that you should live. Forget the character. He was the standard, the principle. Turn the other cheek, but you only got two cheeks. Right? Walk with dignity. Consider certain things that's going on. But sin no more. Mary, don't go back to that. I just showed you it's not like, I just showed you you're the victim. I just showed you who they were. But if you go back, if you get caught back in that web, it could kill you. Why? Because when they were getting ready to stone you to death, I just so happened to be walking through and stopped them. Next time, I may be in another city, another town, another state, and I can't save you. So when you get that moment, when I walk in, and I check everybody, and I tell you to rise up. Because it's not your fault. You were a victim. It's not your fault. They're the assholes. So do that. And then walk back with dignity because that's who I am. Right, women? That's the story of Mary. Now let me tie it in and land this plane with LGBTQ or with transgender men. This is just the men that want to be women. That's your story that I just gave you. I gave you a moment when Jesus came on up in there. From a little girl. Playful. Like all that shit that I see in my daughter. And then you have grow through that cycle of life dealing with. Don't act like it didn't happen. At some point it did. I don't care if you're a 40-year-old mom with kids and you blocked it out, it happened. And you think for 1 second that a man at some point who takes hormones and goes to a surgeon and chops his dick off and puts a fucking wig on and does whatever he does and says, I want to be called man, you think he deserves the rights? You think that he has earned the privilege and the honor to be called a woman? Because last I checked, there are two things that can give life and nurture it. God, the creator, created life and everything that you see. And he nurtures the plants and the trees through the sun, through photosynthesis that helps it grow, through the rain that gives it water and replenishes them, to the food and the minerals that helps it grow. And women who give birth to us, to beings from the kingdom of heaven to come on through the vessel. And they nurture it with on their bosoms and they grow it. You're the only two that can do that. Your DNA strand is boom. If you don't Google, but Google your DNA strand. Boom, you got the big little X's things. Men we got one X and a little one. And you think for 1 second with your journey, with your story, with the way that everything that's happened all the way back to the days of Mary Magdalene, you think that somebody can take some goddamn testosterone pills, chop their dick off, have an identity crisis, and say they deserve the right to be you? If you believe that, knowing your story, and you can't stand up, not worry about what the fuck anybody has to say, because at some point you made it through, because some type of Messiah came in your life, in you, that rose you up past it, blocked it out, so you raising kids and everything else, you think somebody just gonna come along and you say, well, you know what, they should, then your ass needs to be locked up. Fuck that. Stand up for what's right. Call it something else. You ever see the movie American Gangster? Frank Lucas, American Gangster, Denzel, Russell Crowe, everybody seen it. Women, men, everybody. There was a moment Frank Lucas walked on in to Nicky Barnes, and Nicky Barnes was taking Frank Lucas's heroin, okay? And it was called Blue Magic, and it was the top shit. And Nicky Barnes was taking it, he was chopping it up, he was cutting down the quality of it. But he was kept the name Blue Magic. And what that does is it tarnishes the brand, because the brand is the best out there. And Frank Lucas said to Nicky Barnes, I don't give a good goddamn, put a chokehold on it and call it blue dog shit for all I care. Just don't call it Blue Magic. My man. And that's all that I'm saying. So it's nothing against that. Let me repeat, it's nothing against that. But I ain't calling you goddamn ma'am, excuse me, because you haven't earned it. Call it something else. You're a high quality version of it that was chopped up and cut by a surgeon and everything else. And now you're in the package and you want to put Blue Magic across it. No, you're not. Call it something else. You haven't earned the rights that women have earned. Because that's their fucking story and I just told it to you. And this was real as shit. So when you come at me and say, oh, he's anti-trans and all that, that is why I am. So check yourself. Because real women that hear me, that they all caught up in this liberal bullshit, are like, my man. They probably might have a tear in their eye. I almost had it. And that's how I'm going to close on the LGBTQ. You do your thing. One, don't put it into the movement of melanated colored people. I'm not going to call black because that was assigned to you. Because no. Two, for the men that are changing themselves to be a woman, you are not a woman. You are not the womb of all man. You are absolutely not. When you die and you go to the coroner and they do an autopsy and they cut your avatar wide open and they write a death certificate, I don't give a good goddamn what your head chopped off. You're going to be a male.